So you know the guy that turns everything into a spicy innuendo, even if his wife isn't into it. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Angela, the Christian Sexpert. I talk all about sex and intimacy in Christian marriage. That guy, there's a good chance that he is using sex as a way to prop up his ego. And by making everything an innuendo, he's giving himself little dopamine hits in between each spicy encounter. This is a man who is probably reliant on his own performance to build his own identity. He may not have a physical addiction, but there's a good chance that he has a psychological one. And in some marriages, constant innuendo is perfectly acceptable. For instance, we have a lot of innuendo in my marriage, but consider my job. And so if your spouse is consenting to constant innuendo, that's fine. That is a fantastic way for two consenting partners to bond and laugh together. But if one of them is not consenting to the constant innuendo, expresses frustration, if the person making the innuendo doesn't know how to read the room and recognize my spouse isn't going to appreciate this right now, there might be a reason why. And so if I've described your spouse, you might want to ask some questions to identify if there's something else happening. And the thing is, we typically subconsciously know when our spouse is using sex as a way to prop up their own ego, build their identity, things like that. And that makes us not want to do it. When sex is about anything except for mutual pleasure and building intimacy in the marriage, celebrating intimacy that you have already built before you ever reach the bedroom, we can usually subconsciously tell, and we just don't want to. So if you have that dynamic of he is constantly making innuendo and the wife just does not want to engage sexually with him, there might be an established pattern that you are both acting out subconsciously, because the less she wants to engage, the more innuendo he needs to make to continue to prop up his ego and give himself those dopamine hits. So the more innuendo he makes, the less she wants to, and it's a cycle. So if you find yourselves in that pattern of behavior, it's probably time for some hard conversations to figure out how you break out of that cycle.